So I'm assuming you're here from my Instagram story or post or spam, however I plan to promote this later, but I plan to talk about the making of my Beetlejuice costume because that took well over a month, and I'd like to, showcase the progress because I thought it was like really fun. Although I guess the final result might seem a little underwhelming. To me, there were a lot of details and work that was poured into it because I really wanted to go out for my senior year, considering like last year I pulled something out of my closet. I wanted to plan this year to be, different, to be special, and so I did. So now let's get started. Of course, this project could not begin without a base, so I ordered this dress by the brand Midnight Hour off Hot Topics online store. However, when the dress actually arrived, it was very bright white, and so I needed to give it this tea bath, as you can see here, in order to age it up a bit, to make it dirtier, and to make it look like he's actually been underground for a while. This was my first time doing a tea bath though, and I was very deathly afraid something would go wrong. It's only been in there for like 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm really stressed. What if it shrinks and then I can't wear it anymore? What if it burns? Well, I am adding in the salt now. They didn't really say how much, so I'm just gonna go for it. They said a lot, and then this is supposed to help it seep better into the fabric. We'll see. Oh, I feel like that was too much. Alright, so I just got back home. I had turned the stove off like a while ago before I left, and I let it sit here because I was afraid to take it out, and it's been like a few hours, right? And so now it's this color. I guess I can't tell if it's gonna be good or not until I take it out, and I don't know if I'm supposed to put it in the sink. Well, we'll figure that out. I did end up putting it in the sink and rinsing it out as best I could, considering it was this big, cold, and stiff chunk of fabric. And then I hung it out to dry overnight, not realizing that it wouldn't actually do much. Okay, so I just hung it up, and it's dripping salty tea. I know I'm supposed to rinse it out so I can get out all the tea leaves, but the thing is, like, this is a really big dress, and I can't really see what I'm doing. I'm gonna take out the tea leaves when I guess I wash it. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to wash it, right? Maybe I could just keep it smelling like tea. Guess we'll see in the morning when it looks all nice and dry. Good morning, everyone. It is currently 6:42 in the morning, and so I let the dress dry overnight. It is still very much like damp. Like I can't squeeze any tea out of it, but it's really cold. I'm gonna ask my mom to wash this while she's at work, as well as Agali's Lydia shirt, because I'm impatient and can't wait until laundry day. We'll see how that goes. I gotta do a voiceover for this part too, because the buzzing of my dad's fish tank was overpowering the sound of my talking way too much about making the first cut on this dress. I made random but controlled cuts starting at the bottom of the skirt part with fabric scissors, and then roughing up the edges a little bit with this butter knife. I just cut this little part, and it felt so wrong. I feel really bad about kind of destroying a dress like this on purpose, but it's for the greater good. Please excuse my mom drying her hair in the back, but I have just completed the first controlled damage cut thing. So here I am trying the dress on, and yep, there it is. Here I am marking out where I want to make the cuts with a Sharpie because it's easier to do it when it's on your body, as I have learned. And here's a quick time lapse of me actually getting down to fraying the edges with the butter knife. I ironed out the dress to flatten out the sleeves as well as part of the skirt because they would not lay flat. I had to shut up in this part because at the time of filming this, my dad was taking a nap. But anyways, earlier that day I had gone to Oz and found this green temporary hairspray by the brand Beware. It was $4.49, but there was a 20% off sale on everything Halloween there. And this is me realizing it wasn't going to focus on the numbers. I decided to test only on a little piece of hair just in case it was good, and it turns out it really was. I was really surprised because it did a lot better than Mofajang, which was $7, so. I also realized it smelled very bad. Yeah, cough it up. This is what you get for not doing a well-ventilated area. Originally I wanted to do a slicked back look, like a wet Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala kind of look. And then I had watched a YouTube video on someone doing it, and they said teasing their hair, and I realized, oh my god, Beetlejuice has like messy hair, and so yeah, now I'm gonna tease my hair. A lot. I know I was only gonna test on like a little piece of my hair, but at this point I was so excited I tested on the entire top portion of my head. I don't know. I had to shower right after this, not only because I was scared my dad was gonna wake up and ask me what the heck I was doing, but also because I wanted to see how well it washed out. And it did wash out pretty well for the most part, but I don't think I know how to wash my hair properly. And so just the other day after filming this, I found a patch of green on my scalp. It was very weird. So the last time we had seen this dress, it was before I put this mask, but I was really excited to put it on, so I couldn't wait to record. But I do want to see how it feels on my body before I like put more moss. Plus, I just really want to try on the dress now that I've put on the ribs. I want to see if it's like weird or uncomfortable or anything. Excuse the dirty mirror, but I think it feels pretty good. At first, I forgot about the ribs, and honestly, it doesn't even feel like they're there. I used E6000, so the glue is pretty flexible. The fabric can still move around. It just feels a little bit crunchier, but other than that, it's pretty good. I'm really happy about how it's going on. But also, this is gonna be close to where the backpack straps are, because I'm gonna be walking around school. I don't know if it's gonna like move the moss around, but we'll see how strong this E6000 is. So I do think it's about time for an update. I added a little bit more moss to the dress. So I made a Beetlejuice and Lydia from the cartoon pins. I thought it was gonna be cute because I, as Beetlejuice, would be wearing Lydia close to my heart because we're besties. And the same, hopefully, for Agali. I was debating whether or not to do leggings under the dress or something else, and that something else just occurred to me as I was watching the cartoon. When Beetlejuice turns into like Betty wears a black sock on her right leg and a white sock on her left leg. I might have gotten that wrong, but I'll insert a picture. I happen to like that idea a lot better than leggings, so I thought that was like a little boring. So got 2 pairs, and I'm only going to be using one of each. And last thing, I wanted to figure out what I was going to do for the nails. I was debating whether or not to do them black or red, because like in the cartoon his nails are red, but in the musical Alex Brightman paints his nails black, but they're like kind of chipped, and like that's fun. That's what I was gonna do originally, but then I thought, okay, but how much fun would it be if I had long nails? And so we bought the Kiss Pack. And I know these work because my mom uses them. These are the ones, the blank ones, where you just paint on whatever color you want. So I just happen to have red nail polish on me. Also, I tested one out already. I know they last like a while, like more than a day, but you know, I'm just really excited. So for now, on to the next. Here I'm going to show you guys how I put on the moss, as well as made it look glowy. So first I used this watercolor paper pad board thing to act as like a little table over a big table, because it's a little bit easier to have it in your lap and you can see right over it, see exactly what you're doing. Then I wrapped the dress around and centered what part of it I would be working on. I placed my bag of moss on a towel because I knew it would get very messy, which it did, and I still have yet to wash the towel even today as I'm recording this. But placing the moss on a towel makes it easier to sort through, as well as pick out which pieces I wanted to go on my dress. I used E6000 because it's a pretty good fabric glue. I used a post-it note as a little surface to put the glue on, just so it'd be easier to get, and a paintbrush that lost the brush part, so you could probably use like a wooden dowel or something to attach the glue base. And once I have that base, I go and add the moss piece, the big moss piece to the dress, and then I go back in and kind of glue down all those little edges and whatnot just until it feels secure. We've reached the fun part. This is where we're adding the glowing part using chalk pastels. So I'm scraping off green first, and I'm applying it as a base using a paintbrush, which definitely stained my paintbrush, so be careful if you're going to do this. And then I add in a little bit of yellow just to kind of act as some highlights, as well as a hint of brown to give it that overall dirtiness. This is kind of like not really an update. Okay. Ever since I started working on the dress, I have gotten like really excited. I don't know if it's like showing in the video, but I am like pumped, and to the point where like every time I'm not even thinking about it, but like my heart will just be like it's like Halloween is Thursday, which is about 4 days from now, and it feels like it's like tomorrow, like it's like right now, but it's not. My heart is like oh my god, I'm really excited.
Folks say, but
Why do you polish your grip when it's kind of a kid? Even if you did have a kid.
yeah, we're totally, completely, maybe 80%. Okay, I'm ready. I don't know what you're doing. I'm like a go sign me Jesus. Go sign me Jesus. Did was you who made me whole. Every day, Dad? Michael. Cause Daddy's in denial. Daddy doesn't wanna be. Ain't no order what, but Daddy's lost his mind for real. The mess that we become. You're my home. You're a strange creation. You held my hand Mochi. I'm done. I'll get round. I'll go and save if things don't change. Whatever it takes to make us say your name, dead mom.
I was gonna ask.
Tomorrow is officially Halloween, and I am a little afraid. I am carrying all this stuff and I'm very out of breath, but I'm incredibly excited. Let's see how it goes. Good morning, everyone. It is currently 4:29 in the morning. I woke up at 4:15 and it is currently 50 degrees outside. It is so cold. Today is the day. My legs look really pale. I'm gonna take out the braids in my hair. It was to make it extra frizzy so it could be really, really, really messy. Thank you, Mom. Now that my hair is really frizzy, I'm gonna start slicking it back and then I'll tease it just so it's like just nasty. And now for the fun part, we're gonna hairspray. We have a problem. Nothing's coming out. I don't know what's wrong. Of course, this has to fail me last minute. I talked to my mom. She said to put it in hot water and magically it did start working. So I'm really, really happy about that. Thank you, Mom. I didn't notice it was starting to splatter on my clothes. It looks bad, but let me show you what I'm dealing with. So I had to bring the cup of hot water, right? Because it wouldn't stop not working. So I dip it in there, right? And then I was thinking, okay, maybe it ran out. But then I only used this one other time and I caught that on camera. I only used it like up there. Who makes a product that only works 1.5 times? This is what I have to resort to. Surprisingly enough, that couldn't save it. I showed my mom and she says it's good enough. For it not working, I did get a decent amount. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hairspray it now. This entire thing to get my hair like this knocked off 2 of my nails. I use liquid latex to apply the moss to my face and body, and it is important to remember that when using liquid latex you have to use a sponge or a brush that you don't care about because it will ruin it and glue all the bristles together. Also, try not to get this on your baby hairs unless you want a really, really painful wax. And side note, I'm sorry that this is really hard to see what I'm doing, but I am definitely not a beauty guru and I was running kind of low on time because of the whole hair thing. It is currently 6:55 in the morning. I am so cold, I can't feel my hands. I think I look pretty good. I like how big my hair is. Now, let's go pick up Agali.
About Agali, she's gonna dress up in the morning, like you.
Yeah, Agali is dressed as my Lydia. It's cute, huh?
Oh. Morning!
We got bread on the floor, and smoothies that I had a lot of trouble making. Please drink it.
Tell you myself, the whole being dead thing, death can get. Hi, I'll be your guy. I'll be your G-U-I-D-E to the other side. Go to the netherworld. Did I say netherworld ever?
We called.
I was shaking.
We called. Cool. Again, run. Yes! Spider-Man! Harry Potter! Wow, the whole game!
Oh, that's so cute! Nice.
You baby! You cannot change my mind!
Oh, yes, ladies. Oh, this was the movie.
I actually took a picture!
Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out.
Lydia left my side and I feel very exposed and kind of scared. What a lovely song. They're doing construction in the ag area, and so it's like a little maze to get to class. I think it's fun, sets the mood. Okay. Whew. I am kind of worried about going to class like this though. Let's go this way, more scenic. Oh, I do believe they had a movie night here last night. It was very nice. We stopped by, but not for the movie. It was just to hose off like a trash can because it smelled very bad. Still. They're playing it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's Monster Mash. We're on the way to interview the principal.
looking like this. Oh.
Always beg for them to get.
Melinda! I love it! Melinda! What? Ah! Do the thing. What thing?
What did you say? Oh dear.
Well. Oh, I'm gay. Oh my. We're going bathroom time. It's pee-pee time.
I can see that I've disturbed you. How stupid of me. I'll just be going now.
Yearbook people, raise your hand. Over here we have Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. We got Beetlejuice and Lydia. The winners for this round is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
No way.
You guys.
Are you gonna go trick or treating?
Nearby houses?
Because they were the rich houses, and we were like, oh my god. Why did you grab it?
It's just, I don't know.
Walk like an angel.
A body has been discovered.
We at Chipotle, we chowing down. We got that $4 discount on the burrito bowls and burritos. Isn't that right, man? Golly. Oh. Why do I look like that? Check it out. There's so many people.
Look at the tree.
Ew.
That's a look.
These dogs. They're fighting.
Oh, he's a taco. Oh. Which one do you bet on?
The bigger one. Taco's got my bet. Vanished. Disavowed. I vanished like a cloud of dirty hipster vape.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my.
Okay.
Oh no.
That's crazy.
So if you care even just a little bit, you will help clean up your
Oh my god.
the something's wrong, into the house and down the ditch, through
down
the
the
tunnel and over the bridge.
Okay, over the bridge. That rhymes. Oh, I've seen that. Wait, that wasn't the escape room from my room. In Alice.
Which one?
This little dog.
They stole it. Wait, oh, that's kind of scary.
Melody, hold me. Yeah. Go.
Oh, did we escape? Oh, we made it. Last house, guys. Alright, guys, what do we think? How do we wrap tonight? Stop it, both of you. Oh. It is currently 9:40 p.m. It has been a long day. I mean, even though we didn't win the costume contest, I think it was mainly due to popularity, but either way, I was just glad to be there, you know? It was really fun. And I'm really glad that Agali got to, you know, do it with me. And I had to take the mouth moss off because when we were eating, it was getting in the way and I was scared I was gonna eat some moss. Anyways, the Chipotle thing, it was true. Although my mom did find a hair in her burrito. It was a little nerve-wracking. It was a little spooky. But I think today went really well. Even though, like, my hairspray completely failed me. I didn't know we were gonna do trick-or-treating tonight, but you know what? I haven't done it in years. It was nice. Some lady was giving us life advice like, oh, enjoy your youth while you can. And it was like, I was trying to before you reminded me of how old I was. Thank you. And now it's time to take everything off. I feel kind of sad about it. This took a long time to put on. While I am taking this off, I do want to say that I think the costume itself was pretty well received. There was a guy who came up to Melinda and I during psychology, and he was saying like how he really loved our costumes, how he was like Beetlejuice a few years ago. There were a few other people at school who did recognize me. One of the kids was like, are you supposed to be Beetlejuice? And I was like, yes. What I thought this project, what I titled it to myself was like just an amalgamation of all three types of Beetlejuices: the musical, the cartoon, and the movie. The nails from the cartoon, the socks from the cartoon, the spirit of Alex Brightman, the moss and the dirtiness overall from the movie, as well as sandworm earrings. I have to thank TikTok, you know what, for introducing me to the Beetlejuice musical, which in turn made me want to see the movie, which then made me want to see the cartoon. I did end up liking the cartoon the most. I believe there were 2 other Beetlejuices running around school today, as reported to me by Carrie and Agali, though they did like mine the most, which makes me very excited. While not all of the moss lasted, throughout the day. A lot of my moss actually did end up transferring to like other people, especially Agali. On another note, tonight I'm glad that Melinda didn't have to use her pepper spray. I forgot to fully remove my makeup with the makeup wipe before heading into the shower, and this is the aftermath. Also, liquid latex is like a bit harder than I thought it would be to remove. It is currently almost midnight, and I just wanted to wrap this whole thing up and say that I am very glad that I did this, that I put this together, that I was introduced to Beetlejuice to begin with. It was a really fun project, even though I'm not very good at removing makeup, but we'll deal with this in the morning. I'm way too tired for this. The last thing I want to say is I'm excited to see what I come up with next year. I challenge future me to come up with something better. Unless I'm drowning in college debt, then I'll give myself a few years. Alright, bye.